You should be proud to be doing Sentinel training and strongly consider joining if you're not. Other programs use long-term repetitive cycles. Sentinel uses 4-week varied progressions, while other programs often slip into movement redundancy or recycle entire training blocks. Sentinel stays true to the CrossFit methodology of constantly varied functional movements. That methodology also guides us in delivering intensity with minimal effective dose, where others favor volume, misrepresenting that as value for money. If you want a hands-off approach with minimal coaching or review, stay where you are. If you want level 3 trainers who care about your progress and test the workouts for you, reviewing your videos, offering coaching and feedback, then you need us. You need Sentinel training. Start your free trial at trainsentinel.com.
Hello and welcome.
Hello.
I'm trying to get into. Oh God! Wait, I think I have it. I'm trying to get into I have been in my Instagram and my on my computer. I'm trying to figure out how to get into it so I can pull up your post.
Chat GPT it. It's the best way.
Yeah. Let me just see. This is great viewing for everyone. Are you registered for the Open, Davs?
Yeah, I mean, for the past, 5 years, I've injured myself somehow during one of the Open workouts, so can't wait to see what happens next.
What was the most recent one?
Actually, that's a lie. So this most recent one, I was maybe 3 weeks away from surgery, anyway, and so I did. It was the thruster accumulating weight, wasn't it? Like increasing weight, and then complexity of gymnastics was it ended up on muscle ups, and I hadn't done a squat in months, and my legs just immediately locked up. Just post workout, I barely could walk for about 3 weeks afterwards. So perfect prep, but it gave the surgeon something to fix anyway. So,
am I right in saying that you're like a man of extremes, like that you do experiment on yourself? Like, are you weird?
I wouldn't say experiment on myself. I don't know. Maybe what you think of is that I have a strange friend who every now and again rears his ugly head and asks me to do something ridiculous, and I typically say yes because it sounds like a good idea at the time, or a few beers deep or something.
Your sound has gone weird. Did you do something there? Did you move your laptop or did you do something? It's gone kind of crackly.
No, I don't think so. Maybe I moved.
I'll mute you again. No, I don't know. It's weird. It's gone crackly. I don't know why. Oh, it might stop. So who's the friend that gets you to do stuff?
There's a guy called Danny Watson who have you ever come across him?
No.
Former seminar staff. He and I met at regionals in 2011, and he went away. He actually coached in Cardiff for a bit because he was in the military at the time, working close by, and he coached a bit with me at the gym, and then went on to Manchester to study dentistry. He got on staff, and then he he just does stupid things like he did. He was on CrossFit's media. He tried to break the record for strict pull-ups inside of 24 hours, and just does stupid things like that. He did 156 or something rope climbs in an hour or something ridiculous like that, also for charity. But he during lockdown called me. Well, not during lockdown. Sorry, it was prior to. Must have been sometime in 2019. He said, "Do you want to do all the hero workouts during 2020?" And I said, "Yeah, okay, we'll do it." And ended up being locked down for God knows how many months as the gyms weren't open. So we were doing trying to do all the bodyweight ones in the back garden. And when we reopened the gyms, we basically had, I think, August through to December, where we had to do something like 27 hero workouts a month to finish it in time.
Did you finish it?
Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Oh, hang on now. There's a big echo.
Wow, why is that?
Wow, why is that?
I've not touched anything.
No, I messed around.
No, I
on my
messed around
end.
on my end.
Fuck.
But this year just gone, he said, you want to do 365 days of training without a rest day. And there you go. I'm hopefully he'll be quiet again for another couple of years.
I don't understand what
I don't
I've
understand
done.
what I've done.
Yeah, I might get you to leave.
I might get you to leave
in,
and come
if that's
back in
okay.
if that's okay.
Yeah. I'll do it now.
Yeah.
My God, that was annoying. What the hell happened there? I turned off echo cancellation and turned it back on, and it stopped him. Sounding like that. But yeah, wow, it messed up then afterwards. That was not good. That was really irritating hearing myself back.
Let's see.
No.
Why is it doing that?
Don't try your
headphones.
I don't know if it'll go on, but I can. They don't seem to be connected. They just connect to my phone and nothing else.
You might have to turn
off your Bluetooth on your phone.
Oh, no.
Bluetooth on my phone, it is turned off. I turn it off on that as well. Does that help anything?
No.
Still echoey as hell.
This has never happened. So I've got your mic muted now so that it's not. God, what can you do with this now? This is truly bizarre.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still trying.
No better?
No.
What's up?
A sec. Alright, I'm on my headphones now. Is that any better?
Let's see. Can you hear me? Yeah.
I got you fine, yeah.
Oh, and I can't hear myself. Yay.
Cool.
Yeah, so the sound was coming out of your speaker and going into your microphone and coming back to me. And there's nothing I hate more than my own voice, like most people. So that was hard to listen to.
There you go.
God. Okay, sorry. So you were saying, did you finish or not finish the hero workouts?
Yeah, we finished them.
Wow. You did one every day?
Well,
as in you were supposed to do one every day. It was 365, like.
No. So that was 2 years. 2020. There's something like, there's more now, unfortunately, obviously, but there's something like, at the time there's like 205 hero workouts. But we were doing, I think, 17 a month until the world got put into lockdown and we couldn't possibly use the gyms, you know. So when we got back open again, we were doing about 27 a month to finish them in time because we were that much in the hole.
What was the worst one?
Clovis. So you run 10 miles and you do 150 burpee pull-ups. but you can segment it, how you want. So I like ran 4 miles where it was to the gym, did some burpee pull-ups, ran the additional, did some more, and then ran home.
Jeez. I'm still struggling. This is an absolute fucking nightmare I'm having. I'm still struggling to find. I can't get into my Instagram. You sent me the link earlier on, didn't you? The GoFundMe link.
Yeah. Yeah, just given wherever it is. Do you want me to send you the post?
Oh no, I have it. I won't be able to get the post because for some reason my computer won't let me log in, which is just absolutely unbelievable. Like so good.
Yeah.
So this is what you're doing this time. You're going. So there's 3 peaks. Is it one in England, one in Scotland, one in Wales?
Yeah. The UK 3 peaks.
Yeah, and you're going to climb up the 3 peaks, carrying a rower, like a rower each, like 3 rowers.
3 rowers, row each.
And then you're going to do 10K at the top of the... It's fucking ludicrous. You're going to do 10K at the top of... Where are you starting? Ben Nevis, that's Scotland, is it?
Yeah, I think... Because the 3 peaks is like a famous challenge, isn't it? You do 3 of them in 24 hours. But I think the most amount of people go from north to south. That's what we're doing. Ben Nevis, Scafell, and then Snowdon.
Okay. Good God. How long do you... Like, fucking hell. So you're going to... You did this... Did you do it last year with Kerry? Did you climb a mountain and bring a rower? Where was that? Was that in Bali or something?
Yeah, that was in Bali. That was just like a little bit of a personal thing because it's what McCoy did in January of last year. And nobody really knows the reasons why, just because it was hard, I think. As in why he carried a rower. He liked to row. Yeah. That was, one of his things. He loved rowing, but he was raising money for some...
If you just like rowing, I guess. So it must have been...
Yeah, just in the back garden or whatever. But it was Mount Batur he climbed in Bali, and he rode 10K at the top to raise money for charity for mental health charities. And so I did it when I was there. I went to Bali to see where he was and to meet a few of his friends and whatnot. And we ended up just doing it there with the actual rower that he used as well.
Oh, okay. So how long did that take? How long did how do you take it apart? How do you carry it?
Well, I figured that out in a hotel room about 9 o'clock the night before we did it. But there was the driver, the Balinese driver, was kind enough to lend me like a ratchet strap and I think it was a belt from his jeans or something. And we took it apart and just like slammed it onto a rucksack and just that was it.
So you put the straps of the rucksack on and it's tied to you and the rucksack basically?
It's tied to the rucksack. But we're going to be a bit, more thought out about this because it's just a bit more severe, isn't it,
Was that part of it like painful? I mean, as in just the actual like object pushing against your back and rubbing against your back, or was it the weight of it that was difficult, or was it just fine?
No, it wasn't fine. No, it wasn't fine at all. It was, but it wasn't like none of it. Not until the way down. None of it was, being a real problem. It was a bit difficult because it's quite cumbersome. It's big, so you can't just walk normally because you get stuck in a tree or something. You know what I mean? So, the weight is obviously difficult because that actual mountain isn't that long. It's just it's quite high. They're quite high steps. You have to step up quite significant rocks, and so if you mess up, you go toppling backwards, and so you got to be careful with it. But the way down on that time, because it was so unplanned, I putting the rower back on again. It wasn't the same way, so it kept on sliding down my back, and that was what was more annoying than anything else. But hopefully that won't be the name of the mountain was. Mount Batur, Batur.
Oh my God!
It's just a place that lots of tourists go up, and see the sunrise. Is what they do.
And is it actual so it's steps. It's not. It's like, I mean, it's still a hike or whatever, but it's like there's actual paths, like steps to follow, sort of thing.
No. I mean, sorry, just the placement of the rock. It's rocky.
Okay.
It's a path, but but the rocks are quite high. It's not like a man-made step.
Okay. And are these the same? Have you climbed these mountains before? The three peaks.
Which I've done 2 out of 3 of them. I haven't done Scarfell. I've done Ben Nevis and I've done Snowdon.
And how long did they take? Like Sans Roar.
I mean, ChatGPT says 4 to 5 hours without a wait. But I mean, when I did them, Ben Nevis was at night. It was when I was in the military, and so that was just an exercise. And Snowdon, I think I did it as a teenager or something, so I can't quite remember.
What did you do? What were you doing in the military? What was your role?
I was in the Marines.
And what does that contain, or what do you have to do?
Well, when you're a general service Marine, general duties Marine was what I was at the time. It's just basically there's a spearhead unit. So you've got either unit of the Marines or one battalion of the parachute regiment that will deploy to, like, if anything kicked off in the world somewhere. And so you'd be kind of ready to go at however many hours notice to move. The rest of you would just rotate through training protocols if there was nothing going on. So you do mountain, jungle, Arctic, all that kind of stuff. So you're ready to fight desert and jungle, whatever. So you fight anywhere in the world. And we happened to be on mountain training at the time, and that was where you do it, is the west coast of Scotland, where Ben Nevis is.
So do you train in all those places then, like Arctic, all those different, like, whatever, geographical?
Yeah, I mean, not every person would go through all of them, because it would take a while to get through all those. But like in my time I was in Scotland, based in a unit that I went to the jungle, for example. That was what we went through, and mountain training is what we went through.
What jungle did you go to?
Belize in Central America.
What was that like?
Dirty.
How long were you? So how does it work then? You join like just general military, and then you kind of branch off into Marines, or how does it work? Are you selected, or do you go for it yourself, or what?
No, the Marines is a standalone unit. I'm not too sure about the Army, to be honest. I think they do kind of basic training and then go off into maybe their specializations. I'm not really too sure, but the Marines are just it's just one training centre in the south of South Devon, and that's the only reason you go there for is to be a Marine, and you go off to your various units.
And is it like is that TV show, is that about the Marines, or is that about something else? The Ultimate Hell Week or whatever. There's like a UK version. Is that about Marines, where you go to the beach and do all this shit, or is that something else?
I have no idea what you're on about. Sounds like a
like SAS Who Dares Survives or something like that, or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think that's about the SAS.
Oh yeah, probably is. What's the difference then? What's the like USP of the Marines then compared to all the other bits of the military?
Well, so they're part of the Navy, so they're amphibious, so they attack from sea to land. So they would go on landing craft, deploy on the beach, go up cliff faces, and then go that way around. But like most kind of infantry units now are very diverse. They'll do all sorts of different stuff, so it doesn't necessarily mean that that's the case. Like, when was the last time a shit ton of parachute or paras were parachuted into a war, or when was the last time like a load of Marines came on shore and went up to a cliff face? It's just they just do their various different roles, or they capsate many different roles.
And is it a similar process of getting in? Like, you say, oh, I want to do this, and then you like apply, get your time to go or whatever. Do you have to go through certain hurdles, or are you just like, once you prove that you're not some kind of, well, I guess you have to be somewhat of a nut job, but enough that you're functioning. You're not like
I mean,
a
I don't
danger to other people.
really. Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't really know much about other forces because I didn't join any others. But
No, for
when you
yours,
went
for
to
yours,
the,
I mean.
yeah, but when you went to the careers office, there's like 3 buttons. It says Royal Air Force, British Army, Royal Navy, and you buzz the one you want, and this bloke turns up, woman turns up, says what you want to do, and you say you want to join the Marines, and they look you up and down like you're an idiot, and they say, well, come this way, take you to a pull-up bar, and you have to be able to do, I don't know, 15 strict pull-ups, otherwise they just don't bother. You see you later. That's exactly what happened.
So that's the like
You're
you
there
have
and
to be
you're
this
like
tall to
jeans and
ride
a
this
t-shirt
ride.
or
It's
something.
just, can you do
Yeah.
15 pull-ups? Yep. All right. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
And then what's training like then? How long does that last, or what does it? What do you have to do? I'm guessing that like mountain stuff, and like they're not going to just be like, "Oh, welcome to the Marines. We're going to Belize tomorrow." Like I'm assuming there's shit
Well,
that happens first.
Yeah, you have to get naked a lot. So there's a big selection process before you go down to basic training. But when you get there, it's at Lympstone, which is in Exeter, or between Exmouth and Exeter, and it's changed a little bit, but it was 30 weeks when I think it's like 32 weeks now or something. So it's 8 months basically from 0 to hero. And I believe, I don't really know this for sure, but people say that the Marines are the only people who, following the last day of training, can be deployed anywhere in the world because so they're ready. Whereas I think the Army have to go on different other courses. I might be wrong with that, I don't know, but you basically do 8 months of training whereby they get you better and better and better at certain things, teach you all this kind of stuff, and then just kick you out to the wild. And you go to 3 different commando units, and then that's where you get all this stuff. Like you get continuation training essentially, jungle,
So
mountain, whatever.
had you done like? Why did you want to join? Like, why did you want? Were you like mad into killing people, or why did you want to join that?
I don't really know, to be honest. I just, from quite a young age, I don't know. I just found it quite interesting. I just wasn't particularly bothered about sitting in a classroom and listening to some bloke waffle about something. I would prefer to be outdoors, and it was my stepfather who had said to me, "Have you thought about the Marines?" I'd never heard of them, so I did some research, and there you go.
And were you troublesome then in school? Like, did he say, "Have you thought about the Marines?" Because he was like, "I'm fucking sick of this kid coming home with letters and shit."
No. I was naughty and mischievous, but I wasn't like a tearaway,
Yeah.
I was well behaved.
And so before you joined then, had you like fired guns or done any of that kind of stuff? Or did you learn that all there?
No, it was all there. I did a little bit of cadets, but like as kids do, nothing crazy.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of the 30 weeks then? Was there one bit that stands out? It was like, oh man, that was awful.
Yeah, funny enough, carrying a really heavy load in your back going up mountains.
Well, at least you've never have to do that again. So that's at least
exactly.
You've avoided that. So after you finished the 30 weeks, then how long were you like in the Marines then after that?
Only 7 years. I didn't do particularly long. People would say that it's a long time, but people go for 20, 30 years in the military.
Active, like, or they go into like training or whatever?
Well, no, they can go into managerial roles. Yeah, sure. Like, you would, again, I can't speak for other units, but when you sign for the Marines, it's 22 years is your service. And if you get to that end, you can go through extensions and whatnot, and so you would typically be going to managerial roles in that stage of your career, yeah, because you promote,
Yeah. So why 7? What happened that you were like, all right, I'm out?
I think I was getting sick of getting told to get my hair cut. Fancy growing it longer. I don't know. The Sunday blues got too much,
So when you're active, like how does it work with? Is there like periods of? Are you like 2 months on, 2 months off, or is it just based on deployments, or how often do they need you when there's like nothing bad happening that you're required for?
Well, I mean, it was usually quite adult, you know. They would just, if they didn't need you, they'd let you go. So you did have a lot of downtime when you weren't actually doing anything like that. They were quite good about
So of the 7 years, how long would you say you were like active of the 7 years, if you know what I mean? Like that you were actually required and doing shit.
that. For the first period, I did a 6 month tour quite early on.
Where was that?
Then there was Kosovo in
Okay.
Serbia, Albania,
Yeah.
that area, the Balkans. And then there was probably about. It was quite quiet then for a good few years, so we were actually training a lot. So you're actually away quite a lot, but nothing, dangerous or anything. Just training in different, like America's has got all these ranges you can go on that move around, and you could just, the UK's training ranges aren't the best in comparison, anyway. And then towards the end of my time, I actually was probably away for about 9 months, the last 12 months that I was in. So quite a lot.
Where was that?
That was in the area of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Sounds wonderful, but
Was that like you were doing shit or you were training?
we were doing a bit of both.
So what were you doing? Is Kosovo, is that like peacekeeping, or were you like? 'Cause how involved was England or Britain in that?
It was pretty involved, but it was a lot of peacekeeping once the main conflict was over.
Yeah.
But then it was quite a varied time, actually, because we did a lot of peacekeeping in Pristina, which is the main city. We then got sent down to the Paso Valley, where there was a bit of kind of arms dealing going in and out the country, and then we actually went back up to Pristina because the prison had rioted, and so they had to kick us into the prison to retake the the control of it, whatever, arrest all the prison mates who were all kicking off each other and setting themselves on fire or whatever.
How many people are in the prison?
I don't know, good few hundred.
And how many of you guys?
Not that many.
Like
But we had big
20 or
shields, so we
more?
just go and whack them. No, there was. I mean, there was 800 of us there at the time.
Okay.
But obviously there was, we didn't have that much manpower. But there was probably a company of us. So you're probably looking at about a quarter of that, probably about 200.
Wow. Okay, that's crazy. And what was Jamaica then? Jamaica was a colony, but it's not anymore, is it, or it wasn't?
Yeah, we were just helping the Jamaican Defence Force, but yeah, they just needed a little bit of assistance,
Was that like drug shit?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Keep like peacekeeping at dance halls. I used to work in a Jamaican nightclub
Or in Cardiff.
in Croydon. There was like I lived there for like 2 years, and I managed an Irish bar, as like you do. But I got a job. I got a job in the Irish bar, and they were like, "Oh, have you worked in a bar before?" I was like, "Yeah, obviously, hadn't." And then they were like, "Oh, you know how to pull pints and change kegs?" And I was like, "Yeah, like easy." Like grew up in a pub. So they gave me a job, and then the guy that owned the place was like, or the guy that was managing it was like, "Oh, that keg is gone. Will you go down and change it?" And I was like, "Yeah." Went downstairs. I was like, "Don't even know what I'm looking at." Like, I know the steel thing is a keg, but outside of that, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I was down there for about 15 minutes, wasted like half a keg. Eventually, he came down. He was like, "You've never done this before, have you?" I was like, "Nope."
Nope.
So I was there for like 6 months, and then a Jamaican nightclub opened across the road, and they came in and were like, "Oh, we're looking for someone to manage our nightclub," and I was like, "I'll do it." So I left, went across the road. I was the only white guy I think I ever saw in there. Like, it was owned by a Kenyan guy and a Jamaican guy, and it was fucking nuts. Like some nights, like the guys would come in with guns, like the whole place would be cleared out. Like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And then I remember about maybe 3 months in, they found out my surname was White, and it was just game over. Like all anybody ever said to me for the whole rest of the time I was there.
Did you go back to the
yeah,
Irish bar?
crazy. No, I came home. I came home for I can't remember why I came home, and then all the riots in Croydon happened, so I just didn't go back.
Right.
I think the place actually burnt down, which maybe isn't the worst thing in the world that happened.
My brother used to live in Croydon. It's a shithole.
It's a fucking dump. Like
Yeah.
such a shithole.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, when did you start doing CrossFit, or how did you come across it?
I was working actually in a Fitness First. I don't know if you. I don't know if they're still around.
There was one in Croydon.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything any more in Cardiff, but I was working there doing like a resettlement. So I actually left the military and went into kind of fitness. You know, that's basically they would allocate you some money to spend on a course, which I did this Bakshi online bullshit gym instructors course or something where like I'd sit people down in front of this multi-choice exam and they would fail. And these people, like long-standing personal trainers or whatever, it was just the most ridiculous thing ever. Nobody could pass this thing. Anyway, I needed experience on the gym floor to pass, and I ended up going to Fitness First. And a guy there who was the studio manager used to teach all the Les Mills classes. He just said to me one day, "Have you heard about this thing called CrossFit?" And showed me the website, and I just thought, well, it was deadlift 5x3 or something. I thought, well, that's bullshit, and so just ignored it. A couple of weeks later, I went on, and it was Fight Gone Bad, and so I did that workout in Fitness First and got kind of like my first warning from the general manager, and that was it.
Warning for what? For not doing like seated row or whatever.
Yeah, well, exactly. Well, I mean, a bit more extreme than that. So there wasn't anywhere in the gym that was 10 foot to throw a wall ball to. So I took a tile at the partition ceiling and was throwing a ball in, like up in the gap, And he didn't like that very much.
That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's like people, is it like I've seen Emma McQuaid has it, and I think Tim Paulson used to have it, where there's like a hole in their ceiling where the rings are, and they do a ring muscle up, and their head just like skims as they do it, and it's like, man, if anyone 2 inches taller does a ring muscle up, you're fucked.
Well, that actually was my last. I got kicked out because of that. So it was I hung a pair of rings from the banisters. So the stairs kind of went up and went off to one side, and I hung a pair of rings from this banisters down past like the plant room, which is where the sauna or steam room was. They could top up whatever it was. Basically doing ring muscle ups in front of the men changing rooms, and I got kicked out for that basically. Asked to leave.
Yeah, God, imagine you just walk out of the sauna and you're like, see someone's feet swinging past. Like, how long was I in there?
I mean,
that's crazy.
That was unheard of nowadays, but you'll see that all the time in gyms.
Yeah, now it's a lot more. It is even just I mean, like,
because of
when
CrossFit.
I was in that Fitness First, or even we were in like Ben Dunn is a big kind of chain over here. We were there, and like, if you saw someone doing burpees, you'd be like, what the fuck are they doing? And like now it's just so like you basically have CrossFit, not CrossFit, in every type of gym. They offer it as like a class, and it's some kind of bastardized version of it basically. But it's like, even here, like 10 years ago, you wouldn't see people really doing burpees, like it generally speaking. And it just seems like such a basic thing. So you were, this was basically just following .com and doing some bits or whatever. When did it evolve to like, oh, I want to learn more, I want to join a CrossFit gym or find a CrossFit gym, or I want to do like a seminar or whatever?
It was pretty soon, to be honest. Like I did Fight Gone Bad, and then I don't think I did another workout. I googled, on the website back then there was exercise and demos down one side of the right hand side, and there was also all the affiliates listed. and you had to go through them, you know, like literally one by one to see what was around. And I happened to find CrossFit Swansea, and so I clicked on it, found it, and then went down there like a week later or something. And the workout with Cindy, and I just thought, well, I mean, this is what I've done for my entire life so far is pull-ups, press-ups, and squats. They'll be easy, and I got, you know, rinsed. I did it. I honestly couldn't walk for a week afterwards. It was ridiculous, and so I just thought, well, yeah, I got to find out more about it. Realised they did level ones, and then that was it. I booked and went, and it was actually the first level one, the weekend of the first level one in the UK. It was in Manchester, but it was so booked. It was fully booked. I couldn't get on it at all. So I went to San Diego, did my level one with Dave Castro, kind of as the flow master, and he said, you know, is anybody else out of town? And I said, yeah, I'm from the UK. And he goes, you know, there's one in Manchester this weekend, didn't you? I said, well, I couldn't fucking get on it. It was just ridiculous, so I had to come here. And whether there wasn't a level one planned in Europe or the UK for, you know, months after that, you know what I mean? So
That's nuts. So who do you know who gave the one in the UK?
Coach Glassman.
Okay, and then Dave did one the same weekend in California, and he must have been like, "Geez, this guy really fucking wants it."
Well, he wasn't that bothered because it was some bloke from Kuwait as well or something all over the place.
Oh, prick.
Yeah, exactly. And it was about 20, you know, there was about 70 people in the crowd anyway. You just like, well,
wow, we're at different times now, aren't we? 70 people at a seminar.
Right. I mean, you got 10 trainers and Bosmans jumping around a box from a pistol, you know, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you did that. Did you go back? Did you coach at Swansea then after that?
No, actually, I didn't. I did every now and again, but they actually put me down as the affiliate manager because I think the rules then was that you could open an affiliate as long as within 12 months you had done a level one or had somebody on a level one on your books. So that's what I did for them. And there actually was an affiliate in Cardiff called CrossFit Wales, which is got to have been one of the first affiliates in the UK. It must have been. And I coached a Saturday class there for once a week.
So CrossFit Swansea opened without anybody there having a level one, and then you joined, and then you went to San Diego to do your level one, and they were obviously like, oh, thank fuck. Listen, can we put you down? Because we've only got 2 weeks left.
Basically.
That's hilarious.
But he was a good bloke. Like the guy who owned it was also an ex-Marine, so I got on well with him.
Yeah, was it mainly like military people then? Because I know, like, obviously, I don't know when he started doing it, but like, well, there's a lot of even if you look at the seminar staff now, if you go through the list, it's like military.
Yeah, I mean,
Johnny.
It used to be, golf, Formula One. It used to be. I guess I don't really know, to be honest. It was as like affiliate owners. I mean, I know quite a few that were ex-military, but I also know, you know, quite a few that probably were nothing to do with it. They just enjoyed fitness. I mean, maybe some were like rugby players or whatever because they just got used to, you know, I think more sort of strength and conditioning, like, you know, like getting smashed a little bit more than doing your typical, you know, back and buys Monday, Tuesday, you know, whatever it might be, the bodyweight splits, which is what we all started off on. You know, there are kids nowadays that never heard of that. They just do CrossFit, which is just amazing. But, you know, like learning fitness through, you know, biceps and triceps is the way that most of us got into it.
Yeah, it's funny as well. Like when I look at the seminar staff. So, because you're military, Palf is military as well, isn't he?
Yeah.
And what's the dog trainer guy called? Did the kids
Matt Evans
course? Matt, he's military, is he?
No, he's ex-professional rugby player.
Oh, okay.
So
And then
there you go, a professional sport.
Rob isn't. I'm fucking convinced Rob was like a spy or something, but he's just like a regular guy
He
that
might
played
have been
rugby. But he's
Welsh,
like,
Welsh spy, but he
yeah, I
also a
don't know.
rugby player.
Yeah, but he stinks of military. Like when you look at him, the way like everything about him is like some kind of sergeant. Like
He's
his
got a bit of
like
a
posture.
Russian twang to his accent, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, because there is like kind of there are some outliers obviously, but there's a type of person you think of when you think of seminar staff. Or there's a type of person that I think of when I think of seminar staff. And I think the type of person I think of for America is different from the type of person I think of for the UK. Like UK, I do think ex-military is what comes into my head. Whereas US, I think like sort of like hippie almost. And like, more like kind of loose. And I guess I just think of Boz. Maybe Boz is what's in my head. Like more kind of like, yeah, let's just see what happens, man. And like, destroy some air squats.
He's a savage, is Boz.
Yeah, it's crazy. With coaching Saturdays then to doing like to being on seminar staff is quite a large chasm to traverse. How did that happen? How did coaching one day a week turn into coaching people how to coach?
Well, I opened an affiliate in 2011. It was kind of like a progression. I didn't get kicked out of that place because they were pretty chilled. They're pretty good. But I just kind of, we just wanted a bit more. So I met a bloke that I no longer speak to. Whatever, there's no love lost in business, is there? Not, we didn't have a bad outing, but he got quite sick actually, and so we opened up in a gym together. I was kind of competitive at the time, so I was at regionals, and Savan actually shoved his camera in my face, and I just got chatting to him, and we hit it off quite well during that weekend. And on the Sunday, I think it was, or something, he said to me, "Have you ever considered being on staff?" And I said, "Well, back then you sent Dave and Nicole an email saying like, I want to be on seminar staff, and then probably a week later you'd send it again, and a week later you send it again, and you might get a bite, you might not, but because he must have had, hordes of emails."
It's sort of like
Savan
asking Dave to come on your podcast. It's the same process.
There you go. I could only imagine. But Savan went and texted him or phoned him, whatever, and that was it. I got an internship, because he recommended, he would work off recommendations very, very easily, you know what I mean, I guess. Because you would, didn't you? If you had a plumber, you'd rather have somebody tell you that this guy's good rather than get the yellow pages out or something. So
that's crazy. So Sevan was interviewing you and said, "Have you ever thought about it?" And you said, "Yeah, but I haven't heard back." And then Sevan called him, and you got a call.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Who did you? How does the internship work then? Do you do multiple? You do multiple where you're just kind of the demonstrator and watching and stuff more so, and then what you get? Is it sort of like a gradual release of responsibility or what?
I mean, the process has changed a little bit in the years, has professionalized a little bit more. So I won't divulge what happened to me on my first internship, but I was maybe forced into, the term getting thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
I actually did that to Johnny on his first, and was emailed by Castro saying never fucking do that ever again. I'm like, okay, no problem. I was thrown under the bus.
Hang on, go back. Wait now. So you show up and the start is like, yeah, welcome to the weekend. Here's all the shit we're going to do this weekend. And you just handed the marker to Johnny and we're like, right, off with you.
Not quite like that. So he was fine. So I taught the air squat, and then I just launched them into the group and said, you can do the front squat, the overhead squat, and he did the rest of them, the rest of the movements, on both days, which he actually took under the chin quite well. Like, that's kind of, it's fine. I mean, you imagine that on my internship, but the problem was the Friday night they got me so freaking drunk I couldn't see my own nose. So there's a difference, you know.
So how did it come about? Did someone in the class say like, yeah, it was kind of weird, like the guy there was like, it seemed like it was the new guy doing everything, or how did Dave get wind of it?
No, well, yeah, well, stupidly, I put it in my after action report that Johnny's he taught this, this, and this, and did a really good job of it. And Dave said, "Never fucking do that again." Okay.
So you snitched on yourself, essentially. You
Yeah, I
ratted
shot
yourself
myself
out.
in the foot. Yeah.
Um,
I thought he would
And
appreciate
then-
it. I thought it was like a good thing.
I mean, I guess he's probably like, okay, this isn't going to work out every time as well as it has. Okay, like Johnny obviously did great, but if the next person bombs, that's like thousands
Well-
wasted by the people that showed up.
It was an intentional decision, so it was done because I knew that he could handle it. But I wouldn't do that to everybody.
So how long are you on like a probationary period then? How long does that like? How long are they like? All right, yeah, you're just seminar staff now. Like, how long are you kind of like on thin ice sort of thing?
I mean, it differs between who it is. You know, like the standard used to be you have to do basically a minimum of 3, where your allocation or your kind of responsibility increases throughout the weekend. You know, you don't lecture anything or anything; you just teach movements. But you're obviously assigned a flow master or a senior trainer who will assess you throughout those groups, and you would get feedback on whatever else, and you progress, you know, throughout their responsibilities. But it's not uncommon that people do 5, you know.
The shit ones do 5.
Well, not really, because it demonstrates that we actually really want you. And so rather than just cut you off and say no, like if you do 1 and you get sacked off, that's probably demonstrated for the fact that no. But
Does that
you
happen
also
often?
could
Do you
get
think, that a lot of people
no,
do it
no,
and then bomb so badly that they just vanish?
no. I mean, they might decide to that. We wouldn't tell them no after 1, unless like it was really, you have to really do something tremendous to not get invited
Like
back.
go out
after
drinking on the
first one.
Friday night, so drunk you can't see your own nose, like that sort of
That
fun
kind of thing, yeah.
professionalism.
Yeah, don't do
Is
that.
it so? Is it a case then of like, sort of like coaching an athlete? Like you sort of do, you work with them until you just realize that they're not working with you, and then you just kind of like, I'm just gonna kind of tell them to work out and focus on someone that actually wants to be coached now. Like they're just not. Is it the same with seminar? With like when you're bedding someone in seminar staff, you kind of take them on, and no matter how bad they are, you're like, right, here's a couple of things to work on. Like you're obviously not going to do same as coaching someone. You're not going to be like, right, this. You're just like, oh, try and do this, and then try and do this, and then the next time you're like, that was much better. Now try and do this and try and do this. Like, are you sort of shepherding them along almost?
Yeah, I mean, once they're on staff, but if they're intern and it's an interview, like, you don't have to give them anything. You just, you can give them feedback, and we typically do, so they can go away and work on it and come back. But, I might see an intern who's on the 3rd that I've never seen or met before. I don't know what they've been working on. I've got no idea. I got them as a blank canvas. And so I can see, they can maybe tell me if they want to, like they got told to do this next time, told to do this last time. But once they're on staff, yeah, your goal for a young trainer is just to develop them so that they feel kind of comfortable, because it's just usually a barrage. You never actually feel particularly comfortable because you just get a handle of one thing and they launch you with something else and something else and something else. And so you progress quite quickly.
So you get more feedback once you're on than prior to being on.
Oh yeah, it's relentless once you're on. I mean, if you went to a job interview, the person wouldn't sit there and tell you how to get better at that job interview. They just
fair.
sit there and do nothing. And then, if you ask for feedback afterwards, you could maybe get it. We typically will give them feedback at the end of the weekend and say, look, but you don't have to. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
But
something that we do because
give feedback to HQ on them, though.
yes,
Like you'd fill
yes,
in yeah. Okay.
yes.
Okay.
But once you're on staff, it's just relentless.
So even like, say if you're a flow master now and someone else because there's only one flow master per seminar, right? Like, as in, if two people are doing it, one of you is even if both of you are qualified to be flow masters, one of you is and one of you isn't.
Well, yeah, unless there's a flow master becoming a flow master, so somebody who's doing their flow master under instruction, then there's technically two, because there's one person that's doing the role and there's one person in the shadows who is actually the flow master.
But say you and Rob were doing a seminar.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he would be allocated or I would be allocated.
Right, so then whoever is doing the staffing or whatever be like, right, Davs, you're a flow master, Rob's like doing it with you. At the end of that weekend, are you like, Rob really excelled with, like, how do you handle it when it's someone that you've worked with for years and someone that you know is like just as experienced as you are and has done as many or whatever?
I mean, the thing with all of us is we're typically quite adult about it. Like, feedback is a gift. It's there to just wreck you, you know, that's not the point. It's to make you better. And so, like, I don't think I've ever taught a seminar that I've gone, yep, I freaking nailed everything on that seminar. There would have been something had I not been the flow master. And even the flow masters, like, every time we say, like, hey, Rob, if you're working with somebody like him, mate, you should watch this lecture for me and just let me know where I can get better. Because that's the whole point, isn't it? You never, you can't just knock it out of the park. It doesn't matter what, there's so much to it.
Are you ever tempted
so,
to
like,
be
Rob,
like, hey, Rob, I have to give you feedback at the end of this. Don't fucking piss me off.
I mean, yeah, no, of course not. I mean, it's all good. They went to there at that level. They know it. They've been around a million times. They all taught like hundreds of seminars over a decade, you know. So,
what is it? What do you think is the common? Because like you're all quite different. Like you have different styles. Like, so I did my level 1 with Johnny and Robin. I did my level 2 with Johnny and Andy. I watched Rob and Palf do a level 1, and they're all very, very different. Like, as in, each flow master is very different. Each, like, what's the other person called? Underling? I don't know the second. The other person.
The head trainers, senior head trainers.
So like they were all different from each other. And the weekends were different. Like the level 2, level 1s were very different from each other. Like the overall, like, you know, the same stuff is covered and it's, you know, whatever, but just feels different. Like it doesn't feel the same. Neither one was worse, but they just felt different. But they all have this, from my perspective, they have this thing of like, afterwards you just feel like you'd run through a wall. Like there's certain moments during the weekend when stuff is being said that you're like, if he told me to go and just murder someone now, I would actually just go and do it. Like they have that level of, I don't know, is it charisma? Is that what you think it is? Is that the common denominator? Like, not, like, I guess, thirst for knowledge and then ability to impart it and then like just charisma?
I mean, I think there's a lot to it. So we're reteaching Glassman's work, right? So he created a methodology and he was, it still is, a freaking genius behind it as well. Considering what he's done to the fitness industry as a whole, is just, nobody can replicate it. And he trusted his seminar staff with the keys to his Ferrari, didn't he? You know, like, you can drive this, but don't crash it. You know, don't fuck it up. And there's only, I mean, if you had a Ferrari and you had the keys to it, you wouldn't give it to everybody. You would give it to the person who is probably the most passionate and, you know, cared about it as much as you did, as you could. And so they, you know, these seminar staff, they've learned the material till it's freaking autonomic, basically, and then they put their own flair on it. And so they've all had experiences in their lifetime whereby this methodology is why they do it, because, you know, they have to fly away from their kids and their family, have to spend a tremendous amount of time on the road and do all this kind of stuff. Electric, you know, it's a job, but I mean, it does take you away, and there's a lot of commitment to it. But they do it because something has happened in their life, and because of CrossFit, they're where they are, or they've seen somebody get to where they've been, or whatever. And it's just absolute passion from the you know, inside out, and that's why they do it. It's just, they know the material. A lot of the stuff that you say that you would run through a brick wall is probably actually verbatim from Glassman, more than likely. But they've just said it with, you know, such passion because they've heard it and said that same thing, that they would do it again.
Yeah. It is like like you say the impact that it's had on different people. Like Rob tells a story about his sister, and you're like, holy fuck, like it's crazy what can be achieved or what can happen or whatever. And then
I mean, I trained his sister.
yeah, like it's
Yeah.
there's a video if anyone wants to go and watch. There's a video of Rob explaining it, and there's a full video that I think Tyson did, like
There's
following
Ross,
around.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tyson was actually, he was actually over as well. Yeah.
So Rob's sister was like, she was assaulted basically, wasn't it? And then lost like just lots of different aspects of capacity, like mobility and all, like ability to kind of stand, walk, all that kind of stuff. And then they used to sneak her
She had
out
a traumatic brain injury. So she
Yeah.
had a significant traumatic brain injury, yeah.
And they used to sneak her out of the hospital down to you, and you'd be doing like PVC pipe shit and all this kind of stuff. And then they go back to the hospital and they'd be like, where were you? Like, oh, CrossFit. Oh, you can't do that.
Basically, yeah, basically. Like,
That's crazy. Like, it is crazy.
Sneak her out of the ward to do thrusters. And I mean, she was climbing ropes and running and jumping on boxes and all this kind of stuff where they had no, like, I remember the physiotherapist saying, we're going to do lunges and squats with her. That's what we said to them. And they said, what happens if she falls over? He said, well, we'll just wait until she stands up, we'll just teach her how to do it, but we'll just wait there and let her do it. Make sure nothing gets her. That's, nothing's going to fall on her, whatever, but she has to learn how to do these things on her own.
What was the response when you said that?
I think they were quite, they quite liked it in the end, but I think they're very kind of governed by their guidelines, and they just couldn't think outside the box, which it wasn't their fault. They're good people. They just had to do the things that they were told to do. This is how you get something better.
Even logically and as humans, they were probably like, oh, that's actually like really sensible, really good. Whereas as medical practitioners, they were probably like, we can't this doesn't compute. Like it's not, I can't tick the right box on the form, so we can't do it, or insurance won't cover it or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wasn't completely risk adverse. So you have to mitigate it as much as you can, minimize the risk as much as you can. But I mean, what did Glassman say? As soon as you step off your sofa, the risk of orthopedic calamity increases. I mean, of course it is.
Yeah, it's dangerous to go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when Rob told that story, because I didn't know any of that, and then he told that story at the level 1 in Belfast, and I was like, holy shit, that was one particular moment where I was like, man, if Rob just said, here's a stick, go outside, just beat the shit out of the first person you see, I'd be like, all right, Rob, cool, I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Like, there's just be no question. But it's funny as well, because they're sort of like, you're not like salespeople, but like there is an aspect of you are giving the information and everything else, but I guess you have to deliver it in such a way that makes the people there either want to continue to develop their understanding of it or continue their educational journey through it with level 2 and beyond or whatever, or go back to their affiliate and like engage with it in a different way than they had previously, or a deeper way than they had previously, or go out into the world, maybe not with a stick and beat the shit out of people, but tell people like, hey, have you heard about CrossFit? Like, they're basically the things that you want people to leave feeling one of those things. Is that accurate?
I mean, yes, but I think that's kind of already happened, isn't it? Like, what's the first rule of CrossFit is tell everybody on the planet you do CrossFit, isn't it? And of course, why wouldn't you, if it's the one thing that you've tried that actually gets you results you didn't know you wanted? It's I mean, the amount of people you see I used to see in Fitness First that were basically there because they'd paid for the year in full, and a lot of them just didn't bother towards the end. They didn't really change. They never changed. And so if a lot of people that come to level 1s have done it because they've had something like that happen to them. They've either changed themselves or seen somebody else, and they maybe, like seen a coach is a bit exacerbated or whatever, and there's a new person in class, they've kind of took him under their wing and showed him something, and they got the first pull-up or whatever, and they demonstrate some sort of flair, or they've had some sort of result from somebody that right there and then, and it's felt good, doesn't it? It makes you feel good to get Dave his first pull up or whatever. And so you figure out when you could actually do more of this, and you could learn, and you could probably teach one class and just affect more people, and that's what happens. And they turn up with a desire, you know. You don't get many people that rock up like, I don't want to be here, like I can't be asked, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. You own CrossFit Cardiff now, right?
Yeah, I'm an affiliate owner across at Cardiff. It's actually their gym is owned by somebody else.
Okay. And you still do seminars as well?
Yeah.
Is that difficult to balance, like the two roles?
Yeah, it was, but stepping away from ownership a little bit. I mean, it's been 15 years, you know, has certainly made it easier.
So you did own. Hang on, explain that to me. So you did own the gym and sold it, but are still there, or this is a different gym?
No, I'm still there. Yeah, but that's exactly what, right? Yeah, owned it.
What was that like? That's like. Is that like handing your wife over to someone and just still living in the house? Like, how does that work?
I mean, so the intention is that, you know, I get away from all the admin
and
bullshit and actually be able to coach.
And how is it working?
You know,
how long ago was that?
Coming up 2 years now, 18 months maybe.
And how's it been?
It's ups and downs. You know, it is what it is. They're trying to maximize, you know, because they're a business now, money, whatever else, square footage, and so they try and fulfill it with Hyrox and whatever else, which, you know, fine. But you know, we're doing the best we can. It's all good. Still a shit ton of people passionate about coaching CrossFit or learning CrossFit. So,
if anyone wants advice on running an affiliate, they can go to callredcell.com if they want, and they can get advice from Johnny and Jamie. And if they want money, they can talk to Jamie. Jamie knows a thing or two about getting money from a gym.
that was well inserted.
Yeah, wasn't it? I should really make an ad and just play it anytime anybody mentions an affiliate. It must be nice. Like, I mean, that's frustrating, I guess, or could be frustrating, or there could be elements of frustration about, like, it's not. I mean, on the positive side of things, the book doesn't stop with you. So, like, if something goes wrong, it's like, well, you know, I'm still coaching well, and the classes are going well, or whatever. Like, you know, sorry, the gym got broken into, but it's not my problem. Like, you know, as harsh as it sounds, versus everything being your problem before, when everything is on your desk and everything is like your decision, or you have oversight of the decision or whatever. But then I guess the cons are, it's more difficult to just decide to do something, or it's more difficult to change something, or it's more difficult to watch something around you change, where it's like, I wouldn't have done that, but I guess it's not my say anymore.
Yeah, it is hard. That it's it's not been easy.
Is it getting easier, or is it getting more difficult to, like, the further away you get from it, is it easier?
I think it's the worst. What's going to happen has happened, and now it's just we're clawing back, you know.
Yeah. All that other shit is just temporary, I think. Anyway, like, people are all hopped up on Hyrox, but, like, you've already seen, like, I've heard a lot of different gyms being like, yeah, members are kind of sick of it now. Like, there isn't the same buy-in anymore. They aren't traveling for them anymore, and it's not the same. Like, locally, it's not the same. I think globally, it's still doing really well, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care about it, to be honest. I mean, if you went to a Hyrox and you push yourself, it would be one of the hardest workouts you've ever done in your entire life. It would be really difficult. It's an hours of just, like, getting smashed. Just like if you did Murph, like, with your fastest mile time first and your second fastest last, you know, it sucks. But it doesn't necessarily mean that people aren't going to get bored of it, because, you know, it's the same thing, isn't it, over and over and over again. Maybe people do. I don't know, maybe people love it, but if they just, like, added something in or changed it around, it might keep people going for a bit longer. They also, I mean, I don't know, like, I just don't know really much about it, how it works. I've never done one, but I would, I don't know, I would like to expect if you paid good money for it, then it's actually the distance that it's supposed to be, or the loads are supposed to be the same loads or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or you're not going to be. Wasn't there something in London or was that Cardiff where they were waiting like 6 minutes or something at a farmer's carry station or a lunge station or something?
I don't know. I might have been London. There's been one one in Cardiff in May, I think. There hasn't been one for a while, I think.
Is that they've taken over a stadium or something, haven't they? Principality Stadium or something?
Yeah.
That's crazy, like crazy numbers. Would you and Kerry not do one? No? You could qualify for Worlds.
If we're not on my running, we wouldn't. But yeah, we could. I would be wrecked.
Yeah,
trying
well,
to
I
keep
mean,
up,
obviously you can like ramp up to it. Like, it's not tomorrow. Like, you can do it. You can train for it.
There's a couple of mountains I've got to climb in between. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. So she, Kerry she's been to the games on 80-20 in like 20. Fuck. When was that? 2022, I think, or 2021, 2022. And then AOD. Was it called AOD?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blueprint.
AOD Blueprint, yeah. And then, because I think maybe the last time I saw you was at French Throwdown and they were competing there. They didn't qualify through that, but they were competing there. Isn't that right?
French. I thought it was French for some reason after the games. No, it was before the games. They'd already qualified when they got there. By the time they got there.
So you did regionals yourself. What's it like being like the spouse of a athlete that's competing and like trying to be at that level, and then you're kind of there support? Like, is it more stressful? Like, you have less control over stuff, or is it easier because the pressure isn't on you, basically?
I mean, as such, I don't coach her, so that there's no pressure on me there. It is difficult, I suppose, when you think it's difficult and it's easy in a way because it's not I haven't programmed her to get to the stage that she's at to compete, and so the blame's off me, if you want to call it that. I mean, if she doesn't have it, but then she's the only reason that would ever be a concern is if just something happened, like a mistake, which everybody does at competitions, or an injury. Like, thank God, like hopefully that never happens, whatever. But that would just be luck, bad luck. And so they're all fit enough, they're all strong enough, they're all capable enough of doing the thing. I suppose it's working with a team when something breaks down. So, famously, Bosman used to say that the worm was there just pretty much just to ruin teams, and just they have a big Barney halfway through the event because the worm just wrecks everybody. As long as, you train with that, and they do very, very well. They were very adept at that, before they went on the competition floor. You typically, get rid of all that stuff.
But she's competed individually as well, not like at the games, but like she has competed individually since you've been with her.
The only thing she's done is partners.
Did she not do something like... God, I can't remember when that was. I really thought I saw her doing something individual, like at a high-ish level, like a semi-final sort of level, not within the game season, but that level of competition, that level of field. I must be wrong. I can't remember.
There was one in, what's the name of the competition in Bath? No, she did one day individual, one day as a partner. What the hell's the name of that competition? Southwest Regionals, is it? Southwest Regionals?
Oh, it's something like that, yeah. Is it worse being with her when she's on her own? Or is it worse being with, like, as in, like I feel like if there's a team, if there's an individual on a team, they can, like, share the load and, like, sort of, like, literally and figuratively. And then she can also be, like, to whatever teammate is beside her, be like, this is fucking shit, isn't it? Like, oh, we really fucked up that last one. Or, like, oh, I'm nervous for this one, or whatever. versus like when she's on her own and then she's like just bending
To
your
be
ear,
honest,
being like,
no, like to be honest, she's good at leaving it on the competition floor. So whether it be herself and she has a little word with herself, whatever, or with the team, she just like debriefs like the latest event. By the time she's out of that warm up area, it's just like, okay, next one, let's go. There's not really that much. Maybe a little bit of like, this happened, but no, it's not really much of a thing, to be honest.
do you, because you've obviously been around the block and stuff, do you ever have to stop yourself from saying like, oh, you should do this? Or have you thought of, maybe you should do this? Like, have you ever had to be like, no, don't?
I mean, I've got better at doing that. I used to be, if I try this, and I just thought, I'll just shut up. There's no point.
Yeah. Like you say, there's no blame attached. If you haven't given any of the ideas, you can easily say,
exactly.
well, I would have done this afterwards, but there's no point saying it beforehand.
Yeah, that's probably the worst thing to do.
So the mountains then, when is this happening? This is in the summer? No, March.
Not well. It depends upon where you are, I suppose. There's never much of that around here, but no, Easter weekend, so 4th, 5th, and who knows, maybe 6th and 7th.
Are you going to practice or anything? Are you going to like build up to it? Like, are you going to climb them without the rower? Are you going to carry the rower like on a flat? Like, how do you prepare for it? Those Stairmaster with the rower on your back?
Yeah, well, yeah, we're training. I'm basically walking the dogs for longer with increasingly heavy backpacks on. We'll do more local stuff for sure, and once we get the rowers and once we get the carriage systems, we'll for sure figure out how to do it. But we're not going to do like I'm not going to go to Scotland and do Ben Nevis in the next 2 months without a rower and then do it with and whatnot. No, we'll just be training in local areas.
Yeah. Is it? I remember I did a half marathon and I remember thinking like, I don't want to run anything close to it. I'll just slog it out on the day.
Yeah.
And then like, it'll be horrible, but I'd rather not do, what's a half marathon, 21 kilometers or something. I'd rather not do like 18 and be like, fucking hell, it's even longer than this as I'm doing it.
Well, exactly. It's kind of perfect the way that we've got it when we've got it, because, if say we were doing it next year, you just have longer for it to hang over you, more risk of injury because you'd be doing it more and more and more. Like, we might end up getting, picking up some niggles and getting hurt, but I mean, we haven't got a huge amount of, load on the body before we actually do it. You've got to get up in it. We're all pretty fit. We've got a baseline of fitness anyway. It's just going to be incredibly uncomfortable.
Have you got like a plan, as in you have an order that you're doing them in, but have you got like logistically, have you got a plan of like, all right, we'll once we come down, we'll do this and this, and then we'll travel to whatever, and while we're traveling we'll do this and this? Or are you just like, oh, just bring like fucking gel in a bag and be fine, or whatever, like 2 carrots and a bit of hummus?
Maybe. No, I mean, the plan is to, the issue is we're going to have to do one of them, maybe 2 of them at night, just because of travel times or whatever else, or at least descend in the dark or something. And so we're going to probably go up Ben Nevis, just get down, sort ourselves out, pack the rows away, drive to the next one. We're going to be driven, like, thank God, like, people are going to be kind enough to donate their time so they can drive us, and we can just sleep in the back of the vans or whatnot, and then just get to the next one, see how we feel, basically get ready and go, and just do that repeatedly for 3 and just see what happens. Hopefully we can do it without too much stopping in between, and just resting on the travel,
Are you going to document it?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, as in, is someone going with you?
Yeah, there's a couple of people, 2 people with cameras, or hopefully 2 people with cameras to go with us. Definitely one. And I mean, so the goal of it is 3 parts, right? So the goal is to celebrate McCoy's life. the second goal is to raise money for his two sons. So when he died last year, his two very close friends from the military set up a Just Giving page and raised over £40,000 for his two sons, because that's what he wanted. He wanted to be able to put them through university, or significantly help them towards the university. And then the third goal is then to hopefully try and raise some awareness for men's mental health and, PTSD with relationship to potentially service of some kind, so like military or ambulance or police or fire or something. And that's hopefully what the videos will do, is to just like put it in the faces of a lot of people, tell a story.
How did you just know him through seminar staff?
Not initially, yes, but it was sectionals, it was called, in 2009. So he was competing then. He was still in the military at the time. That's where I met him.
In Australia or New Zealand or whatever?
No, it was in the UK.
Okay.
There was some sort of US Air Force base that sectionals were supposed to go on at. This was before the Open. So it was, I don't know if there was anything prior to sectionals, but you just basically rocked up and there was an event, one day event, and you went from there to regionals. And so McCoy and I both qualified. We went to regionals in the Lico training center in Sweden somewhere, Halmstad or something, where there was like, I don't know, there was maybe, was there, I don't know how many athletes there were, but there's probably about 100 people in the building. It's something completely different to what it is now. Miko Saylor was there. He, was in the corner because he had a bye to the game because he'd already won it. That was the thing prior. If you won the games, you would always just qualify without having to go through the process. So he was smashing himself with a death by clean and jerk in the corner. And McCoy was there too, so he qualified also, and got to know him a little bit there. But then years later, I can't remember when he would have got on staff, maybe 2013, maybe 2012, 2013, he interned. And of course, he was just an amazing trainer from the get-go. He could have done it with his eyes closed. He was unreal.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
So if people want to donate, the link is in the thing underneath anyway, and I'll put it there in the chat, I think, yeah, as well. But it's underneath in the link, or if you're watching it back, you can just click the link and donate. And on the 4th of April, you, Rob Lawson, also seminar staff, Dave Palf, also seminar staff, are going to climb Ben Nevis, Scaffold and Snowdon, carrying a rower on your back each, and then rowing 10,000 meters at the top before coming back down and going on to the next mountain. No matter how many times I say it out loud, it just sounds like absolutely ludicrous. Like, I don't know, I feel like maybe the more I say it, the more normal it'll sound or whatever, but it just seems to sound more ridiculous.
Well, yeah, you're a couple of months behind me,
I assume you haven't still settled on like, yeah, this is fine. Are you still like nervous about it, or do you think that'll come later, or are you just kind of accepting of it now?
I'm not nervous about it, but I just, because it's so far away, but come nearer and nearer it will be, but I just know it's going to be extremely uncomfortable. But I mean, there's always a good idea in there, and somebody mentions it, and then that's it.
Do you think, will you try and PB your 10K on any of the mountain? What a story that would be.
I know, right? I am not concerned about that rowing at all.
What if, like, would you start to be concerned if you're like, I don't know, you're like 1K in on, say, the first one, and then you're like, oh, what are you on, Rob? And he's like 2.5, and you're like, what? Like, would you start to be concerned about like, fuck, I need to hurry up because I don't want to hold these guys up. I don't want to make, is that obviously you have the support system of the three of you doing it together, so you can kind of lean on each other like mentally a bit, but there's also element of pressure there of like, I don't want to be the one at the back, or I don't want to be the one that's holding them up, or I don't want to be the one that fucking twists my ankle or whatever.
I mean, I got to be honest. It's probably going to be the stage where all of us going to be doing the same thing. You know, like you probably have one where you're flying and you get a second wind or something, but at some stage, every one of us is going to be dying at the back, just sucking on for dear life.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Oh, someone left a super chat. Where does the affiliate program come from? Where does the affiliate? When was that question asked? And what is it pertaining to? That question isn't even in the chat. Where the fuck did that come from? It's not even in the chat.
I don't know.
That's weird. I wonder, is that from an old show? Couldn't come up on an old show, could it? Where does the affiliate program come from? I'm at a loss.
Glassman was phoned by somebody saying they're doing CrossFit and you need to teach us how to do it, and we're going to be using your name, so we should probably pay you for that. And he said, well, don't worry about it, I'll waive you because you're going to be the first one. And the story goes that he thought one day he might have CrossFit North, CrossFit West, CrossFit East and CrossFit South, and they would be HQ in the middle. And then, years later it exploded and 15,000 people were doing it.
What?
The level one came from the community, you know what I mean? So did the affiliate program.
Are you confident or concerned, or what do you feel about it now?
About what? About CrossFit?
Just in general. I obviously the methodology is solid and has stood the test of time, but just as in the company, the state of affiliates, the state of the open, the state of the education, all that kind of stuff.
I mean, the methodology is not going anywhere. That is just bulletproof, and whether people want to admit it or not, it is the way. CrossFit, Glassman was the first person to ever define fitness in a way that would stand up to scientific rigor. From that came the affiliates, came the games, came all this kind of stuff, and education. I just think that there are so many communities all over the world. In us on seminar staff, before they created all these regional teams, we'd be traveling to all these places, and literally, well, God knows where. You'd go there and you'd have this little tiny affiliate that they're so proud to take you in and show you around the place. Look what we've got, type thing. That I think it's just fine. These people will again. It's done because CrossFit saved their mother or their brother or their husband or whatever, and they would never turn away from it because of that fact. It's just they just got to ring the bell a couple more times. That's all. Just say it again, because it's been shadowed by things like High Rocks and whatever else.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll check back in on April 7th. Check that you're still alive and well.
Hopefully, I'll have a Guinness in my hand.
Yeah, with the open to get you first. Good luck.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ridiculous, but good luck. If anyone wants to donate, you can click the link. And if you're interested, what's your username on Instagram? Because you have a post up there as well.
It's just Davs Dennis.
Yeah, DABSDENNIS. I'll throw up my story now as well, and you can have a look. Thanks, Davs. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you.